The Galactic Academy's most dreaded examination had claimed another victim. Zixthara, a brilliant Centaurian scholar, stumbled out of the testing chamber with her 4 eyes glazed over in shock. Her tentacles trembled as she collapsed onto the waiting bench, joining the growing line of broken students who had attempted the mind probe compatibility test. Jackson Miller watched from across the corridor, his human features standing out starkly among the diverse array of alien species. At 19, he was the youngest student ever admitted to the academy, and certainly the first from the recently discovered planet Earth. His girlfriend Lily Chen sat beside him, her dark eyes filled with concern as she squeezed his hand. "Maybe we should reconsider this," Lily whispered, her voice barely audible over the mechanical hum of the testing facility. "Every single student who's gone in there has come out different." Jackson studied the victims of the mind probe. Some stared blankly at the walls. Others muttered incoherently in their native languages. The Arcturian who had entered 3 hours ago was now rocking back and forth, his crystalline skin flickering with erratic patterns of distress. "The neural compatibility examination is mandatory for all students seeking advancement to Level 7 studies," announced Professor Veltana, her insectoid form clicking as she approached. Her compound eyes focused on Jackson with what might have been curiosity or disdain. It was hard to tell with her species. "The mind probe determines whether a being's consciousness can interface safely with our most advanced technologies." "What exactly does it do?" Jackson asked, standing to face the professor. "It maps every neural pathway, analyzes every thought pattern, and catalogs every memory," Veltana explained. "The process is intensive. Most species find it overwhelming. Their minds simply cannot handle the depth of introspection required." Lily stood beside Jackson, her scientific curiosity overriding her worry. "How many students have successfully completed it in the past 50 cycles?" Veltana's mandibles clicked in what Jackson had learned was equivalent to a sigh. "None. The technology was designed by the ancient predecessor race, beings of immense mental capacity. It appears modern species lack the psychological resilience necessary for the examination." Jackson exchanged a look with Lily. They had come too far to back down now. Their research into quantum consciousness theory depended on accessing the Academy's restricted archives, and Level 7 clearance was the only way forward. "I'll do it," Jackson said firmly. The testing chamber resembled a cathedral more than a laboratory. Crystalline formations jutted from the walls, pulsing with soft, hypnotic light. At the center sat the mind probe, a sleek metallic chair surrounded by a complex array of sensors and neural interfaces. Jackson settled into the chair as robotic arms positioned the neural crown on his head. The device felt cold against his skin, and he could sense Lily's worried gaze from the observation window. "Initiating scan," the AI announced in its melodic, genderless voice. The probe activated, and Jackson felt an immediate invasion of his consciousness. But instead of the overwhelming rush that had broken other students, he experienced something entirely different. The alien technology delved into his mind, expecting to find the ordered, compartmentalized thoughts typical of galactic species. Instead, it encountered chaos. Human consciousness, Jackson realized, was fundamentally different from every other species in the galaxy. Where other beings thought in linear patterns, humans thought in streams of consciousness. Where aliens processed one concept at a time, humans juggled dozens of simultaneous thoughts, emotions, memories, and sensations. The mind probe, designed for orderly alien minds, attempted to map every neural pathway simultaneously. It crashed into Jackson's subconscious like a wave hitting a reef, breaking apart against the sheer complexity of human cognition. Jackson's mind was a maelstrom of interconnected ideas. Mathematical equations danced alongside childhood memories of his grandmother's cooking. Quantum physics theories intertwined with song lyrics and movie quotes. Emotional responses to Lily's smile existed in the same mental space as abstract philosophical concepts about the nature of existence. The probe struggled, its ancient programming unable to comprehend the magnificent disorder of human thought. Where other species maintained rigid mental hierarchies, humans embraced contradiction. Jackson simultaneously held scientific skepticism and romantic idealism, logical reasoning and intuitive leaps, focused concentration and wandering daydreams. The AI's voice became strained. "Error. Cognitive patterns do not match known parameters," attempting recalibration. But Jackson wasn't finished. As the probe continued its scan, it discovered something even more remarkable. Humans didn't just think chaotically, they thought creatively. Jackson's mind constantly generated new connections, linking disparate concepts in ways that defied logical categorization. He could envision solutions to problems that didn't yet exist, imagine scenarios that had never occurred, and dream of possibilities beyond current reality. The mind probe, confronted with this unprecedented mental architecture, began to adapt. Instead of trying to impose order on Jackson's consciousness, it started to learn from it. The ancient technology, designed by beings who valued structure above all else, suddenly glimpsed the power of controlled chaos. Fascinating, the AI whispered, its voice filled with something resembling awe. Subjects' neural patterns exhibit unprecedented flexibility. Cognitive redundancy levels exceed all known parameters. Mental resilience factors off the charts. Jackson felt the probe withdraw, but gently this time, almost reverently. He opened his eyes to find Professor Veltana staring at him in stunned silence. "How do you feel?" Lily asked, rushing to his side as the neural crown retracted. "Fine," Jackson said, and he meant it. Actually, better than fine. "I feel clearer somehow." The AI's voice filled the chamber. Test completed successfully. Subject demonstrates full compatibility with predecessor technology. Mental resilience rating, infinite. Cognitive flexibility, unprecedented. Classification, enhanced baseline for future testing protocols. Professor Veltana's mandibles clicked rapidly, the equivalent of speechless amazement. "In 50 cycles, you're the first to not only survive the mind probe, but to actually improve its programming. The technology has been updating itself based on your neural patterns." Jackson smiled, taking Lily's hand. "Maybe that's just what humans do. We break things until they work better." As they left the testing facility, other students stared in wonder at the human who had conquered the unconquerable test. But Jackson wasn't thinking about his triumph. He was already imagining the next challenge, the next problem to solve, the next impossible thing to make possible. After all, that's what humans did best. They turned impossibility into inevitability, one chaotic, brilliant thought at a time.